really exciting stuff. So the builder financing that we have partnered with Level Capital on is going to be a major competitive advantage. There's not one market in this country that's suffering from excess inventory. Every single market is really struggling with inventory. The inventory has been the #1 subject of concern over the last year, and this financing provides us with an inroad for builders, with builders. So let me just give you a high level view. I shared a video from a webinar that we did earlier this week. But the way this works is essentially this is non-consumer direct financing. So this is B2B financing. This is us or a real estate agent being able to leverage this partnership and this builder financing that we're offering to builders to help them finance more properties. So, one of the biggest pain points for builders is the ability to get access to capital. For the most part, builders have two options when it comes to financing. They're either working with hard money lenders, which means very high interest rates, expensive terms to borrow, and pretty restrictive, or they're working with banks, and banks are slow, clunky, they're very conservative in how much money they're willing to lend to builders. So, the platform and the company that we're partnering with is a hybrid. It's a company that brings private money to builders. It gives them the ability to finance to a very high-tech platform. It's a super high quality, fast process, but it also gives them access to more capital. So the percentage of capital that they would normally be able to borrow from either a hard money lender or a bank, they're going to be able to borrow more money through this vehicle. Now, what does this mean for us? This means that our approach to the model is one of two things. Either we're going to go directly to builders and we're going to offer them this product and this offering through a partnership with the intention of partnering with them on the consumers that would buy the homes that they build. Or the route that we're really focused on is leveraging this offering to real estate agents, to our partners in local communities, and being able to package a full presentation to them that they can go out to builders and present this financing as a value add on behalf of their partnership with the real estate company and the mortgage company they're bringing to the table. And the why behind it is this: is the real estate company, if they get the listings on those homes, on those new construction properties that the builder's building, they're going to get a commission. Obviously, they're going to get 3% on every sale. If we can do it as a partnership and they add value to the builder by bringing more financing and better financing to that builder, they get the listings, we get the mortgages for the home buyers that are going to be buying those properties as the in-house mortgage company. So it's a really great product. It's a great company. It's a company that I've been working with here for about 6 months as they've been developing their platform and really kind of expanding outside of the West Coast. So we're one of only 5 companies in the entire country that they're doing this partnership with. And it's something that we're going to work with our business development team on repackaging the overall value proposition. The entire offering is going to be white labeled as UMortgage. It's going to be something that we're branding, and we're giving our real estate partners a fully built out presentation for them to share with builders. So it's exciting stuff. If you haven't had a chance, take a look at that presentation that I uploaded in the Loan Originator Workplace group earlier this week. That'll give you a full depth of the product offering. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be rolling that out. And giving everybody, kind of the B2B partnership offering that they can go to their real estate agents with for builders. Next thing I want to talk about is industry changes, some really big industry changes happening over the last couple of weeks. So obviously, we're all aware of the shift that we start to see in interest rates, and that shift is expected to continue to rise. We saw the 10-year Treasury go up as high as 1.6. As of today, it's slightly below that, but the trend is upward. We talked about it last week during the weekly sales meeting. What's going on? We got inflation. Obviously, the United States has printed a lot of money over the last couple of years, and with more money in the system, the cost of goods, the cost of importing, all is going up. That means that interest rates naturally are going to go up as well. So, what does that mean to the housing market? Well, normally speaking, that would only mean a small increase or a small change in the rate in interest rates. But with the fact that the Fed is going to be tapering, the stimulus that they've had in the system for over the last year and a half, we could see rates, by the end of this year in the mid 3s. So it's something to keep an eye on. Obviously, rates in the mid 3s are still incredible, but the trend is upward. So for consumers, that means home affordability is going to be becoming more expensive to borrow. And that's on top of a tight inventory. That's on top of, the cost to build homes being at the highest point that they've ever been. So for us, it's really, really important that we're focused on all of our product offerings. It's not just going to be a conventional lending game in 2022. It's going to be, non-QM. It's going to be builder financing. It's going to be 203K loans. It's going to be having the full product set at your disposal, so you're able to compete for every single transaction and offer every consumer all of the available options that we have at our disposal. So, we really want to lean into this. Another big change that came out here is, obviously the conforming loan limits are now at $625,000. That's a big increase. For most of us, at least in the areas where the average purchase price is north of $500,000, this is a big deal, because now we're entering what used to be jumbo territory. So all of our lenders at this point, all of our investors have already updated this new conventional loan amount. A lot of retail lenders are still at the old loan amount. So this is a competitive advantage. UWM and Home Point were really fast to the market, put us in a position where we could get out in front of our competition and start offering these loan amounts sooner. But that's just part of the overall equation here. Our focus going into 2022 is we either have to be the product expert, or we have to have a product expert on our team, because qualifying and being that expert, qualifying every consumer, making sure we are doing our due diligence to bring the maximum affordability to every consumer as rates go up is going to be super important. We don't want to be the mortgage company that capped a consumer out on their pre-approval, and then they went to another mortgage company that were able to get them another 5% or another $50,000 or $100,000 in purchase buying power. So, being a product expert is going to be more important now than ever before. We are in full shift from refi to purchase market. This time last year, 12 months ago, the size of the mortgage market was 50% larger. In 12 months, we've seen a shift, a 50% decrease. So, things are changing. It's all about local experts, powering them with the best products, the lowest rates, and making sure we have the best services to support them. So, last thing I want to talk about here before I shift it over to Corey is really growth mindset. We've talked about this a lot. Obviously, we talk about the get better every day mindset, but it's really understanding that we are in full shift. There is not one loan officer on our team that I talked to this week that didn't tell me in some way or another that they're starting to feel the pinch. They're starting to feel less volume coming in, less interest coming in the door. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. As the market continues to shift, as we see rates go up, there's going to be less volume out there. And instead of, being able to sit at our desk and wait for the phone to ring, it's going to be all about proactive outreach. It's going to be making sure we're staying in front of our customers. So I'm going to talk about, what it's going to take to win a little bit later in this presentation. But for today, it's all about growth mindsets, coming into work every day and understanding that if we're not growing our relationships, if we're not growing our contacts, then we are not going to have a 2022 that's bigger than 2021 or 2020 was for us. So, growth mindset, it's a mindset. It's not a mood. I talk to some people and Monday, they're super motivated. They come to work, they're pumped up, they're ready to go. Tuesday, they've lost all momentum. That's not sustainable. Growth mindset's an every single day thing. You got to bring the energy every day. You got to compete for every relationship, and you got to stay top of mind with your customers. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this towards the end of the presentation. I'm going to hand it off to Corey Meredith, our marketing team leader.
Thank you, Anthony, and hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm Corey Meredith, Marketing Team Leader. And before I jump into some overview of projects, I want to leave you and stress on one point, and that is progress, not perfection. The reason that I want to talk about this today is because I think so many of us get caught up in the element of perfection. At the end of the day, nothing on social media is perfect. Nothing in marketing is perfect. We as people are not perfect. So I think that we need to let go of that concept and just be yourself, right? In order to get started, we simply have to do just that. We just have to get started. So I would encourage you, for any idea or concept or anything that you want to try, instead of trying to fix out all the tweaks and make it perfect the very first go around, just get started. If you have a video idea, don't try to make it high quality, movie quality to put on social media. Just record it on your cell phone. Get comfortable behind the camera. Get comfortable speaking to your audience. Get comfortable just putting your ideas in motion. It doesn't even have to be video. It can be anything that you can think of in your mind. But the goal here is really to just look at the kinks and fix them. Post something and get comfortable fixing it, analyze it, see how you can do better, and continue to grow and evolve. And that's one thing that we as a team really are great at doing and should continue to do, is really evolve, grow, and get better every day. So I encourage you all to strive for progress, not perfection, because perfection will come with time. And although we may never achieve actual perfection, we can always improve. And really, that's the goal. If you don't start anywhere, you're never going to start at all. So just get started. So jumping into a couple projects that are in the pipeline for the marketing team. Super excited about some of these. There's two major ones that I'm going to cover today. The first one being a complete redesign of our website. Right now, our website is very pretty, but it does not speak to our intended audience. As most of you may know, our audience had shifted from the consumer base to the loan originator. So right now, our website speaks directly to the home buyer and to the consumer, and we want it to speak to you, the loan originator. So we are working with the technology team to create some of these updates so that our messaging and our brand can be consistent across the entire UMortgage brand, to update and to really amplify the message of what UMortgage can do to support its loan originator through centralized LO support and all of our other amazing value props that some of you have probably already experienced. And if you haven't, they are definitely to come. So timeline for that project, although it is a very big project, we have a great web developer, shout out Daniel and the entire IT team, but we are hoping to do a soft launch sometime in November. That is really going to be just a visual element of, okay, this is what it's going to look like. Let's make sure all the functionality and things are working. And then again, progress over perfection. We can work out any of the kinks and have a full complete launch January 1 so that everyone externally can see, exactly who we are as a brand and who our audience is. No confusion there. Moving on to project number 2. This is something that I've been asked about many, many times, and you asked, we listened. It is email drip campaigns. And like I said, if you have talked to the marketing team or if you have shared any marketing once, it's probably an email drip campaign. So I can promise you it's very high on the priority list and it's actually in the works. The first one coming down the pipeline is going to be a 1-year purchase lead email drip campaign. So in collaboration with the IT team as well as the learning and development team, we are working on optimizing some content that's being created for this drip campaign, as well as avenues of delivery via text messages, email, things of that nature, so that we can be staying top of mind and in front of customers in the best way where they are. We keep saying meet them where they are. They're not going to come to us. We have to go to them. So keeping their preferred contact method in mind is definitely on our priority list as well. Another thing that is not a major project, but I just kind of want to mention is that we do have physical business cards. So some of you have maybe received these already, but if you are in the market to shopping for a physical business card or you need to update your old company to get new physical business cards, please just workplace message me and we can put them into production and ship them out your way. I think that's all for me for today. As always, progress, not perfection. Let's keep on posting, and I'll pass it over to David Higgins for some learning and development.
Hey team, Dave Higgins here with the Learning and Development team. We wanted to give you all some updates on some things that are happening in our L&D world. So last week, we piloted a course for our UMortgage leadership team in Philadelphia on how to give and receive feedback. That training went extremely well. Many of our leaders have already expressed how much that training really helped them in terms of both, again, giving and receiving feedback. Specifically came to me to talk about how much they've already taken a lot of those things and implemented them and communicate that stuff with their colleagues. So really excited about that. These types of soft skill trainings or people type of trainings, like giving and receiving feedback and a number of other leadership type trainings and things like that, will be available to you all to attend at some point in the future. We don't have a hard date on those sorts of things yet, but we're planning on providing these to you all so that you can take the lessons that have been given to our leadership team and just to you all in general and apply them in both your professional and in your personal lives. And that's probably my favorite part of teaching those sorts of things, is that a lot of the lessons that are in there are very applicable to both your professional life, but also your personal life. So we're really looking forward to having you all in those classes in the future. So there's two things that I wanted to share with you, kind of interest you a little bit in those sorts of things and what type of lessons we're putting out there. So the first thing is tracking data. So the courses that we're doing that are things like this, I know you all track data in thousands of different ways, how many loans you have and how quickly do you close, those sorts of things. Well, you can also track data on things like soft skill training. one of the things that we did for the soft skill training that we did last week on giving and receiving feedback was simply send out a survey to team members and say, hey, how well do your leaders give and or receive feedback, and just gather that data. And then over the course of the next month or two, we're going to ask the same team members again, hey, how do your team leaders give and receive feedback? And then we can track and say, hey, we've seen an increase or a decrease, right? Because our leaders are actively working on getting better. So you can track data, you can track stats in terms of loans. You can also track data and stats just by asking people a simple question of how well do people give or receive feedback. So that's one of the things. And then one of the concepts specifically that we wanted to share with you all from giving and receiving feedback was the idea that maybe you're not a big fan of giving tough feedback to somebody else, or your team members are not going to be big fans of receiving tough feedback, right? You should reiterate constantly, whenever you are giving feedback to people, reiterate the purpose of the feedback. And the purpose of that feedback is to help them grow and to help support them. That's the whole purpose of talking to them in the first place. If you didn't care about them, if you didn't care about their growth, if you didn't want them to be successful, you wouldn't give the feedback in the first place, and vice versa. So encourage feedback from them with that same mindset. The purpose of feedback is to grow, it's to get better and to be successful. So take that time, ask for the feedback, and vice versa, and always be reiterating that point with your team members. So that's all that I've got from today. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to Amir now.
Hey guys. So first I want to thank UMortgage. Thank you guys for having me. So I'm a branch manager here, local loan officer here in Michigan, #1 in the state. Just joined on UMortgage, brought on my entire team, and we're super excited for the transition. So, I appreciate you guys for everything, and I'm excited. So just to jump right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about today is relationships, right? So to all the loan officers all across the country that are watching this, in regards to everything that we do, where we're a loan officer, we're trying to earn people's business. We're asking them about their personal information. We start off every conversation with, hey, tell me your credit score. Hey, tell me how much money you make. Hey, tell me how much money you have in your bank account, right? That's how we start off every loan with every new client. That's what we do. Why aren't we building relationships as well? Building a relationship with our clients is very important. And essentially, something I told my team this morning is when you hop on a phone call with a client and you say, hey, how you doing today? Good. And they respond to you. They say, how you doing? You say, oh, I'm good too. It's like, no, dig deep. Hey, I'm doing great. I drove to work this morning, had a great breakfast, or whatever it was. Build a relationship with them. Show your vulnerability as well, just as they're showing their vulnerability with you. Show your vulnerability. They're going to open up more with you. All you need in a relationship is trust. The client needs to trust you before they refer you any deals, before they do their business with you, is trust. If the client trusts you and you're giving the client a 5% interest rate, you're going to get that deal. Nothing's going to stop it because they trust you, right? So in any relationship or in any new deal or all the business that we're receiving, we have to make sure we're building relationships with our clients. The same thing goes with realtors, right? I used to, when I was first reaching out to realtors or trying to earn realtors business, something I used to always say is, I was reaching out to these realtors once a month for a year and a half, and they would never send me a deal. How about I tell you, we're doing our Christmas gifts this year, and I'm sending out Christmas gifts to realtors that didn't send me a single deal all year, right? But it's because I know one day when the lender that they work with drops the ball, I'm going to be the one they remembered, right? Or, hey, I call that realtor and say, how's your son Nick, or how's your daughter Susie? How are they doing? Right? It's like, they don't even send me business yet. I'm asking them about their children. I built a relationship with that realtor. Now that realtor is going to want to work with me. I always say, the reason why sometimes loan officers can't break into relationships or break into realtors and get their business is strictly because the realtor is working best friend. Somebody that goes to their house and has dinner, right? Or someone that they're going to, an amusement park with. They have a relationship with that loan officer. So even if that loan officer is not doing the best job, it's their friend. They don't want to cheat on their friend. So relationships is the first thing. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, it's something I talk about with my team all the time, it's renew, right? So what we need to do a better job at, what I need to do a better job at, and all of us loan officers, is we need to renew our minds, right? So Matt Ishbia always talks about it, right? Where he talks about, I'm renewed. It's like, what does that mean? Like, how do I implement being renewed into my own life? Well, you have to take that step. We have to take that step to renew ourselves within our minds, right? So for example, so you're waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, getting dressed, eating your breakfast, coming to work at 9, right? Why don't you renew your mind, wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to get to work 3 hours early, and I'm going to do what it takes to make myself busy for the day, right? I'm going to create opportunity. I'm going to create my success. I'm going to create my future. Are you renewing your mind? Are we renewing everything that it is that we're doing? In the sales meeting this morning, they talked about keep, start, stop, right? Keep doing what you're doing that made you successful today. Stop doing the things that aren't making you successful, that are holding you back, and start doing those things that you're not doing now that are going to take you to the next level. With renewing your mind, you're easily and you're openly going to implement those 3 things into your life, right? So once again, renewing our mind every single day. And I'd like to tell my team this morning, creating opportunity. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Create that opportunity to become successful. Create that opportunity to take your career or your life to the next level. Once again, renew your mind, renew your work ethic, renew your life. That's all I got. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. That was awesome, Amir. Thank you very much. We are super excited to have the Amir Bali team here, the entire team. It's located in Troy, Michigan. We're excited to get to know them and meet them and support them and help them grow. They're going to be a big part of what we're doing long term. So I'm going to kick off right now and go into a couple call to actions to wrap up and kind of build off of what Amir was talking about. Number 1 is asking for referrals. It is more important than asking for a 5-star review than asking for a referral. It is more important. We define success here. It's on the wall. It's our mindset. A customer that creates a new customer is success. Doing a great job for a customer is great. And that's hopefully going to be something that results in them coming back to us for more business. A customer that sends us a new customer is truly the market success. Going back to what Amir just said, trust is built when you've done a great job and somebody says, hey, we trust you so much, we're going to refer you our friend, our family member. And that's what this is all about. But making sure we're doing it at the best time is so critical. Making sure we're doing it before the transaction closes. You know, it's the biggest mistake that loan officers and salespeople make is forgetting to ask for referrals or waiting to send a templated email after closing to ask for a referral. You know, before they close is the emotional high point. When you get that clear to close and you're reaching out to a customer to let them know, hey, listen, you're clear to close, we're getting ready to schedule your closing. That's the emotional high point. So that's the opportunity to say, hey, first of all, thank you for doing your loan with us. You know, we appreciate the opportunity to work with you, but making sure they understand, like, you know, part of being able to offer the best rates, the best service, the lowest fees is being in a situation where you say, like, we compromise on making a lot of money on customers by giving better, lower rates and lower fees for the whole purpose that that customer is going to refer other customers to us in the future. That's how our entire business is driven. If you don't say it to the customer, it doesn't matter. You know, you can't assume it's going to happen. You can't assume that they know that they should be calling you back for future transactions. The reason why, you know, these massive mortgage companies with huge call centers, Freedom, PennyMac, Quicken, all these companies have those big call centers is because they know that the LO that did the purchase transaction doesn't follow up to try to do the future refi transactions. So, you know, before we close, making sure they say, hey, listen, I'm your loan officer for life. I'm your home ownership advisor for life. If you need a home equity line of credit, if you need to buy an investment property, a second home, refinance this property, whatever life event comes up that you need to collateralize your home, I'm your person and you are going to reach out to me. That's step 1. Make sure you memorialize that. It's super critical that they understand that you're not just the person that helped them buy the house, you're going to be the person that helps them refinance and buy other properties. Number 2 is asking for referrals, setting that expectation. It's so basic, but think about the last time you did it. Like, think about the last time you told a customer before they closed, hey, listen, I just want you to know my entire business model is based on giving the lowest rates, lowest fees, best service, with the hope that you send me future customers in the future. So making sure they understand, friends, family, we're a nationwide mortgage company. We can service anybody that you send to us, and we're going to provide them with the same great service, the same low fees, the same low interest rate every single time. They got to hear it. They got to know how important it is to you that you need a referral. The review is the thing that can be, the review request can be the templated email that you send after closing, but asking for the referral, a customer that creates a new customer. This is a critical element to growth and success. If you look at the #1 loan originator in the country last year, you know, Champ Ozian, he closed $2.1 billion in volume. 1.2 billion of that was refinance volume. The rest was purchase. But that 1.2 was from his database. It was from all the customers he's closed over the years. It's all the customers he did a great job that referred him other customers. Database is everything. Asking referrals is critical to growing 10x each and every year. So that's my call to action. Make sure we're doing it before closing. Memorialize it. You get that emotional peak when you get the clear to close. You're congratulating them on a successful transaction. Ask for the referral. It's so important. Next thing I want to talk about, just to wrap up and close out here, building off of what Amir said. When? What's important now? You know, like where do we start? I talk to all of our LOs on a routine basis. Internally, you heard from Corey, you heard from Dave Higgins. You know, we have a lot of projects going on, a lot of different things that we're trying to do. And we're trying to do them at a very, very high level. You know, training team, our recruiting team, our marketing team, our business development team, our tech team. Every single team here is working super hard to make sure we're doing an amazing job for our team members and for our loan originators. And at the end of the day, we have to always keep in mind, what's the most important thing for us to prioritize right now? What's going to make the biggest impact on the business and on our customers? So, you know, for all of us, knowing what's going on in the market, we've talked about it 2 weeks in a row. It's on everybody's mind. Rates are going up. Don't be a victim. Don't wait for the market to move away from you. This is going to be like last year, $3.9 trillion market, huge market, one of the biggest ever. This year, 3.4. 3.1 is the estimate for the size of the overall mortgage market for this year. So like, you know, already shrank massively year over year. Next year is expected to shrink another third. So we're seeing that market trend move. But at the end of the day, who here is going to be writing $1 trillion of business? Like if we did 100 million, 200 million, $1 billion, if one LO did $1 billion in business, that's an amazing amount. That makes you a top 3 loan officer in the country. So like it's $1 trillion market. What does that tell me? That tells me it's a zero-sum game. And either you are staying in front of your customers, either you are winning deals, either you are establishing relationships that deliver you referrals, or somebody else is. That's the way this thing works, is either you get in front of them or somebody else is going to get in front of them. So our win, what's important now? What's our priority right now as loan originators and salespeople is to focus on the relationships. It's getting in front of our key contacts. Who are our key contacts? You know, it's, you know, real estate agents, number one, financial advisors, CPAs, people in our community. Every single person is a customer. I was talking to a real estate agent the other day, and they're saying, "Oh, so busy. I had to do this pumpkin picking thing, and you know, I really didn't want to do it because I don't have time." I said, "Pumpkin picking? You're around other parents. Those are potential customers. Those are potential homeowners. Those are potential home buyers. Everybody's a customer. Don't forget that you're in the real estate business and everybody can potentially be a customer. So, you know, get into our key contacts. Are you staying in front of your key contacts? You know, posting on social media. We talked about it last week. I gave a big shout out to Herman, who's doing an amazing job staying in front of his customers by posting on social media. That's a key and important thing. We have to make sure that it's part of our routine. Posting on social, following up with our contacts, text messaging real estate agents. That is the only way they're going to send you that next deal. It takes one phone call. Ego is one of the things that gets in the way of salespeople understanding, like, I need to make this call right now. So the ego tells people, hey, I'll make the call later. They probably don't want to hear from me. And that's internal ego saying you don't want to do it. You're scared of what the outcome is. We're worried about like them hanging up on us, or we're worried about them, you know, not being interested or blowing us off. No. Win. What's important now? We have to go out and win business. And it starts with building trust, like Amir said, building relationships, being in a situation where we're texting. They might be busy. People text us. We're busy sometimes, but you got to stay in front of them. If you don't swing the bat, you can't make contact. You can't bring in more deals. But we are not going to be that company where the market moved away from us and we just watched it happen and we didn't do anything about it. We're going to go out and win. We're going to grow into a shrinking market. Everybody else right now, the bean counters are sitting there trying to figure out how they lay off half their teams because the market's shrinking. We're growing, we're hiring. And you know what we're going to do? Our loan officers are going to go out and win more business and make sure we can keep growing. And that's the name of the game, is growth first all the time. And we're going to make sure we win in 2022 and 2023 and for many years ahead. So awesome sales meeting. Appreciate the team. Keep up the great work. Have a great day.